single day that I worked, incidentally, sorry I didn't meet you earlier, every single day over the period of those 5 or 6 films, I had 5 kids visiting me. I had the same, it started off with my relatives, then it was distant relatives, then it was strangers, then I would auction off the chance to do it for charity. And the producers were amazing. They always had some extra person laid on to take kids to visit all the sets, because they built all the sets, not like a normal movie, they knew they were going to use them repeatedly. Visit all the sets, visit the creatures workshop, visit the special effects place, the zoo, come to where we were shooting, put the headphones on, get to call cut and action, and unfailingly, all the kids, Daniel, Rupert, Emma, and lovely Tom, who played my son, would always come up and go, hello, you having a nice day? What's been your favourite bit so far? They never changed. They were such lovely, lovely people from when they were 11 or 12 to in their 20s. It was extraordinary. But weirdly, although I was there millions of times, the first couple of days are seared into my brain because it was such an unusual thing. There's a couple of things unusual. One is I've been in many, many, many films. Only a few of the good ones are highlighted here. I love it when people come up to the table and go, I gotta tell you, man, I love all your work. And I go, you haven't seen all my work. There's a lot of stuff that even my mother wouldn't watch. But anyway, but on Harry Potter it was so different because you knew that these were great stories and people were going to love them. And we made them with love, and we were all huge fans. By the time I got to the set for the first day, I'd read the 4 books that were published and realised what the phenomenon was and how brilliantly and beautifully the stories were told. And so here's the story of my first day or so, and then I will take some questions, I promise, eventually. So first thing that happened was I went down a couple of weeks early so that they have a little tryout of your makeup and hair and check you haven't put 40 kilos on since you got the job and all that stuff. So I go down and I go into the makeup room and she said, well, we're really not going to do anything with you. I think you'll be fine like that. Just maybe a bit of powder, just your hair how it is, maybe salt and pepper. And I went, what? And they said, yeah, I think you're good. I mean, just good to go. How you are? And I went, well, what about a wig? And they went, what do you want a wig for? I said, because I'm playing a wizard. I said, well, wizards don't wear wigs. And I said, well, some of them do. Don't tell me that's Richard Harris's hair. There's no way. I'm sorry, there's no way. And they said, well, you know what, he's got that wig. Why would you want to do it? You're a businessman. I go, what? Whoa, hold on a second. I go, Lucius Malfoy, I've read the books now, all right? He is a wizard. He hates muggles. He's not going to have a muggle haircut. They went, well, we haven't. I mean, just by the way, the director has approved this. You know, we've done some sketches, and I went, well, by the way, we're not shooting for 2 weeks. Just indulge me for a minute. Let me try something. He goes, well, we haven't got anything for you to try on today, and the director wants to have a look at you today. I go, what's that? And I pointed at some like $5 truck stop wig, you know, and they went, well, that's, you know, I said, just let's try that. So we try this, you know, platinum blonde white plastic wig on, and she goes, in my opinion, that looks kind of silly. And I go, well, it's a $5 wig. I'm hoping you make one better than that. So anyway, I see this wig. I go down to costume, and they go with, and they've done some lovely designs, these kind of, you know, not full length, down to their pinstripe business suits, like I'm on Wall Street. And I went, and they go, what? You don't like him? I mean, we can change the colours. I went, why am I in a suit? They said, well, because he's a businessman. I go, well, who is this businessman everyone's talking about? They go, he's a wizard. He's a wizard. He hates muggles. She said, well, what do you want to dress in? Janice, she's French. She was like, what do you think you should wear? I go, I think you should wear, like, you know, fur and ermine and aristocratic clothes that have been in his family for thousands of years. What, you should wear old clothes? I go, no, he's got a spell that refurbishes them, or whatever. He's a wizard. I want to wear beautiful aristocratic. She goes, well, we don't have anything here. I go, what about that? And we grab like a velvet curtain, just like a piece of velvet. And I wrap it around myself, and I got this $5, you know, Hollywood and fine wig. Anyway, so we go down to the set to let the director have a quick look, to have a peek. And he's shooting the pixie scene with Gilderoy Lockhart. He's quite distracted by all the special effects and everything. And the assistant goes, Chris, so we've got Jason for a quick look. And he went, where? And I went, hi, it's me. And he went, well, what's going on? What's happening? I said, well, you know, I thought I think he's a wizard. I thought he was a wizard. He was wearing this thing in the hair, it's like muggles. He goes, yeah, I hear your argument, I hear it. Did you see the sketches? We had him like in a, yeah, businessman suit. Yeah, but I thought he's a wizard and he doesn't like, you know. No? He said, no, that's cool, all right, we can do that, sure. Okay, anything else? And I said, yeah, I thought maybe I could have a cane. And he said, is there something wrong with your leg? And I said, no, I thought maybe the wand could come out of the cane, you know. He said, no, the wands, we have a thing with the wands, they just appear by magic, like you don't see them, they come out of the back of people's like hoods or sleeves or something. And I said, yeah, I know, but I thought, maybe it could come out of the cane, like a sword stick. He went, he's a lovely, lovely man, and he went, I think the toy guys are gonna love you. And so that's how Lucius Malfoy's look was born. And then so you've got the right idea sitting down. You can tell I'm just rabbiting on, sorry. And then my first day, there was a day just sitting and looking at a green screen with a tennis ball on a stick, which was watching Quidditch. I just had no idea what planet I was on. But the first real day, you know, they don't make films in order. So the first real day was the last scene, almost last scene of Chamber of Secrets, when I'm in Dumbledore's office and I go up to his desk and stuff. And Richard Harris was an absolute hero of mine. He was a genius actor. For those who don't know, he played Dumbledore in the first two films. And I was very, very intimidated by Richard Harris. Extremely intimidated by him. But I know his son from drama school, so I led with, oh my God, Jared, your son, just the greatest actor I've ever. He was so much better than the rest. I mean, not as good as you, because you're amazing, but he was, you know, I did a lot of babbling fan stuff, and he seemed to like me, and it was all good. And we did the first rehearsal of the scene, and I had to come up. I was very aware that this film was already crammed with some of the best actors I'd ever seen in my life, who I'd seen on stage, and that it had the ultimate villain, dear late, gone, I can't believe I'm saying it, it's so weird to talk about it, but anyway, the wonderful Alan Rickman had been in it, and he plays Snape. There's literally nobody on the planet in history who played Sinister better than Alan, and I was in this film, and I thought, what the farm animal am I going to do to try and make any kind of impact? I thought, I know, I'll come up with a voice. I'll come up with some kind of voice. And I wanted to make it like fingernails on a blackboard. I wanted you to hear this voice, and you always want to punch him as soon as he opens his mouth, whatever he's saying. If he said, you've won the lottery, you go. And so, there was a guy at my drama school who bullied everyone. He was a horrible, horrible bully, who had a very high, very aerated voice, and he used to say things to me. I'd do a performance, and he'd go, you'll never work in this business, Isaacs. You're a waste of time. None of your colleagues like you. I don't know why we let you in the first place. So there was him, and then there was an art critic in England with such a strangled voice, not high-born at all, but had adopted a voice that was posher than posh. And he had this extraordinary voice, and I thought, if I combine those two, maybe I can come up with a voice that is just dripping with privilege and power and snobbery. So I came up with a voice, and we get to the set, and I do the first rehearsal, and and the director comes up to me and he goes, hey, Jason, can I have a word? Which is never good. Like, no one ever wants to take you aside to go, that was awesome, man, that was great. And so he takes me aside and he goes, I gotta talk to you about the voice now, because I'm American, and I don't know if there are people ever who spoke like that in the world. And I said, well, fair point, but there are people who speak kind of like that, and I pushed it a bit further. He goes, do you mind if I ask the producer to like cast his ear on it, because it sounds kind of weird to me? And I said, no, that's fine. And the producer, who I knew socially, came to my dressing room actually before we went down to shoot. He knocked on the door, and he said, Jason, it's David. I said, hi David, how are you? He goes, so what's this going on with the voice? And I said, I was doing, now the art critic's name was Brian Saul. He was a figure of fun for the whole country because of his voice. And I said, I was doing a kind of Brian Saul, this thing. Went, oh, Jesus. Do you think it's going to work? And I said, oh, I think it's going to work. It feels like a good choice to me, but I mean, if it doesn't work, you can always replace it, or we could do it different, but I think it's good. He went, oh, okay. Do you mind if I come and watch the first run-through? I went, you're the producer. You can ask me to do this whole thing in a clown suit, if you like, in French. So, no, you can come watch. So he comes down to the first rehearsal, and the very first moment is... in the scene that we shot is the last bit of the scene where Dumbledore basically dismisses me, sends me out of the room. And I remember so vividly, Richard Harris was telling some scurrilous story about his adventures in the 1960s, which are really not family friendly, not even suitable for adults. I don't know who this is, but anyway, great storyteller. And it's in the middle of one of these things, and we get up to sit down, and I'm aware that everybody's watching, thinking, what's he going to do? It's this weird, like the producers are all by the monitor. And Richard's got the first line. Somebody, I'm sure many people in this room know what it is, but we're shooting the scene out of sequence, and he says something like, "That'll be all, Lucius," or something like that. And we go up, and he's chatting, and we're laughing and laughing, and they go, "Okay, in position," and rolling cameras, and your heart goes a little bit, and your bum goes a bit tight, and you're like, "God, it's my first moment. I better not blow it. A lot of people are watching." So you're always worried you're going to look over the monitor and people going, "Oh, no." So. And it's Richard's first line, and I don't actually have anything to say at that point. I was, for a while, it's Richard speaking. And they go, "Action!" And Richard just looks at me. And I go, "He's holding this a long time, isn't he?" And then I think, "Go on, spit." Oh no, how sad. He's old now, he can't remember his lines. So bad. And then, enough time goes by and I think, "Oh God, it's my line. Oh no. Oh God, I don't know what it is, I can't remember, I didn't even look, oh God, I'm sure it was him first, oh no, it's me, and then panic starts to spread. Panic, my stomach goes in a wall, I start my throat goes dry, I start to sweat a bit, and I go, oh God, is someone going to say cut? Is someone going to say, shout the line out? And just at the moment when I'm really feeling queasy, he speaks. Because he was Richard Harris and he took no prisoners, And he said, "That'll be all, Lucius, thank you." And I said some line, I can't remember what it was, and he said something, dismissed me, and I turned around and I walked out of the room. And I just sort of flounced out of the room. Because I was new to the hair, I thought I had to do that all the time. And I said a line, I don't know what it was, and the producer comes over and the director comes over, and Daniel's there as well. And they go, "Okay, the voice. Well, it's pretty extreme." And Daniel, God bless him, goes, "I think it's cool." And the director went, "Okay, all right, we'll go with the voice." Okay. And then I want the director goes, "Okay, so let's do it again. Great first take. When you get out of the room, could you maybe shut Dumbledore's door behind you?" And I said, "All right. Is there any way you could I just close it by magic? Is that all right?" And he went, he looked over at the special effects guys and they went, "Yeah." By the way, the magic was a piece of fishing line. That's all the magic was like that. And they went, "Sure." And I went, "This is going to be good. I like this." And then I said, "Well, sorry, I forgot to ask, where's Dobby? Where's Dobby standing?" He's in the scene. And he goes, "Dobby will be standing wherever you look. Where do you want him to be? Just look there." And I went, "Right. Okay, yeah, all right." Because, keep looking in the same place. You don't want to be like, we don't jump. I go, "Yeah, all right, fine." So now I'm in the scene, and he goes, "Lucius, thank you." And I go, and I turn around, and I go down the stairs like that. And the director goes, "Okay, cut, it's great. Sorry, can we just polish the floor? Jason, is it slippy there?" I said, "No. I said, what was the thing with the line?" I said, I kicked Dobby down the stairs. He looked over at the special effects guy. This was the special effects guy, the guy went, and he said, "Okay, sure." And then, "Did I see correctly? Did you do some weird thing with your cane at the bottom of the stairs?" I said, yeah. When Dobby tried to get up, I hit him on the head. The special effects guys, by now the special effects guy's making notes all the time. That's right. So now I feel a bit more, a bit more confident. We're in the scene. The voice has been given the thumbs up. It's all good. And then I said to Chris Columbus, I said, the only thing is, I feel like there should be an end line. I feel like he dismisses me and just kind of, I just walk out. Lucius Malfoy, he's such a pig, such a proud. I'm being so careful not to swear, but anyway, he's such a fill in the blank that I think he would say something to kind of try and regain his dignity. He said, "Okay, let's do another one. Just say something." I said, "You want me to run it by the actors?" No, just say it. That'll be good. So I'm standing there. I go up and Richard goes, "That'll be all. Thanks, Lucius." And I turn and I look at Daniel and I go, "Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day." And Daniel, who is all of 12, and slightly intimidated by having seen everyone, you know, me and other things, just puffs his little chest out and he walks up and he goes, "Don't worry, I will be." And I thought, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. They know what they're doing here. And it was, and that's my first day, and I remember it so vividly. I've actually told the story a few times, but not because it's an anecdote, but because it was so seared in my consciousness. And from then on, there were many fantastic adventures, but that's just as an introduction to a world that was going to be magic and filled with brilliant actors and creative people. That set the tone forever. So I've got a million stories I should tell you, but I feel like you're all standing there and you go home and go, "I stood there and I didn't ask a question. Why did we go to the bathroom for an hour?" So let's take some